Hi guys, so before we get into this video, I need to place a trigger warning. This video will be discussing infant loss, child loss, a funeral for a child. So if any of those are upsetting to you, I completely understand. Please skip this video and watch something else. But if you're interested in hearing about this influencer that vlogged a baby's funeral, then please keep watching. Alright, you guys, so I've talked for a long time about influencer culture and how, in my opinion, influencer culture is just a whole problem, and this is the reason why people don't like and don't respect influencers. It's because they will take really serious and tragic situations and make content out of it. And it's the lack of self-awareness, it's the lack of having any class, it's the not being able to recognize that not everything in life is going to be content. You might share your life, but there are certain things that are off limits. The influencer that we're talking about today, her name is Tasha, and Tasha has not learned that lesson. She has not made the choice to say, I recognize that I make content, but not everything is content. She hasn't learned that yet, and I don't think that she will. So we have two characters in this story, Tasha and Veruca. And Veruca is the mother that lost her child. Tasha is the one that was making content out of Veruca's child being no longer with us. Tasha does this TikTok and she says, I'm going to be, going to this funeral. She's playing with her hair, twiddling around with her, the ends of her hair. And she says, I've been to funerals before, but never for a baby. Okay, so I get that. Fair enough. What immediately set off alarm bells for me is that as a gift for this grieving mother, she buys the mother a bottle of tequila and claims she's gonna need it because her child died.
Before, but never for a baby. So it's just, I don't actually drink tequila, but she's gonna need it.
Obviously, so many issues with this. Number one, I've been to funerals during my time that I've been making content. I didn't jump on my page and say, hey guys, I'm going to a funeral today and this is what I bought for the person that lost their loved one. I don't know. That to me is weird in itself. But to give a grieving person a bottle of alcohol is not the right time or the place for that at all. I understand that some people utilize alcohol if they're going through a hard time. The way that Tasha introduced it, though, was very just tasteless and tacky, and I still think the gift itself was an awful idea. And then to claim she's gonna need it, as if what? You want her to rely on alcohol instead of being able to grieve and feel her feelings and work with mental health professionals, clinicians, so that she can help herself through this really awful thing that none of us would ever wish upon anybody else. And you're going to hand her a bottle of alcohol and be like, here you go, you're going to need this. What? So after showing this god-awful gift that she got for this grieving mother, she does proceed to attend the funeral, and she shows the inside the building where the funeral is taking place, so on and so forth. And then some time goes by, and Tasha decides to jump back on her TikTok and complain about a friend that she gave a gift to did not thank her for this gift. And Veruca, along with a lot of other people, figured out very quickly that That video was talking about her and this tequila gift that she was given.
Make new friends. Long story short, I become friends with this person. They then invite me to, a function. I go because I'm like, oh, they invited me. I want to go be a good person. So I go. I spend all this money on gifts for the function. In question, give it to them, forget to buy a card, don't get any thank you. Never get any thank yous. They find out some bad news. I send them flowers, teddies, all this shit. And I'm made out to be the bad person.
It's really something when a grown woman can make the death of their friend's baby all about themselves. This woman doesn't even seem like a friend to me. She seems more like a clout chaser. I'm sorry, but no friend is going to get sloshed at your infant child's funeral and says astronomically inappropriate things about a baby. This is not an apology. This woman is too self-absorbed. It's getting so out of hand that people can't even take the death of a child seriously anymore. The mother, Veruca, must have been just so devastated and distraught to even catch it in that moment. But if it was caught, I bet there would have been hands. I don't even know. And from the video evidence, no one made a scene, no one caused anything. It was just left that way, but now that the internet's coming.
Because of this, Veruca decides, I'm going to go ahead and release a video of Tasha speaking at my child's funeral, even though we asked her to not speak. She is speaking the most god-awful things as she is leaning up against the hearse of this child. As she's leaning against this hearse, she says that she never met this child. She didn't know the child. So my first question is, why are you here? If you don't know this child, you never met them, I don't know, why are you showing up with a bottle of tequila? Seems odd to me, but she was asked to not speak, and once I heard her speak, I automatically knew why she was asked to not speak. She was saying things like this 6-month-old baby was a chick magnet because there were a lot of women at this funeral. She also uses descriptors like baddie to finish it out. And as a reminder, she was under the influence of alcohol when she was giving this speech, obviously. She said, may he have everlasting kitty. I can't use that word on YouTube, but saying that regarding a child that was only here for 6 months, this mother is grieving. You're going to sit there and talk about baddies at the funeral, call this baby a chick magnet, and then say you hope that he has everlasting what? This, even with the influence of alcohol, very, very, very unhinged to say these things at a funeral.
I can speak. I can say something. It's a woman who touched my life. And will continue to do so. I never got the pleasure to meet Tash because of my own circumstances as broken. Tash is the most loved little baby that there will ever be by all the baddies in the fucking Gold Coast in Queensland. He is the most fucking baddie attention man that will ever be.
Now, if you couldn't make that out, don't worry, neither could I. It took me about a dozen listens to figure out what was being said, but she's basically calling the baby a chick magnet. Her exact words are a baddie attention man. Keep in mind, this is a 2-month-old child. Apparently, this was referencing the fact that there were a lot of women at the funeral, and instead of saying something to the effect of, look at all these people who cared about this child, she chose to say that he attracts baddies. What a fucking psycho.
On the Gold Coast, made him live with for everlasting pussy and peace.
Yeah, and this is where you would have been escorted out. The fact that everybody stayed so calm when she said this is honestly pretty respectable. So not only has this woman now proven that she is incredibly self-centered, has no respect for anybody around her, but is also sick in the head. To say at the funeral of a 6-week-old child, may him live with forever lasting pussy, you've got to be a sick motherfucker. That is one of the most insane things I've ever heard a person say.
So after that video was released, Tasha did come back and she admitted, you know, I was under the influence of alcohol, which we all knew. And she also said that her actions that day were partially to blame on her recently having a abortion. I don't want to dive too deep into this because I don't know her feelings. But if you were in a tough mental space, why did you not just sit this one out? Why did you not say, I'm going to excuse myself from attending this because I know that in my frame of mind right now, it's not in my best interest or the grieving family and friends' best interest for me to attend this child's funeral. Now, Veruca also came out again and has given a little bit more insight. Keep in mind, this is just her experience, things that she saw, things she allegedly heard were happening. She elaborated on it a little bit and said that Tasha was in the place where the funeral was taking place. She was sitting on the floor with her legs open and talking about activities. There were children, like Veruca's 7-year-old sister, that could have been overhearing these things. On top of the inappropriate things that she was saying and doing in front of friends and family, she was also allegedly taking a photo of this baby's room. Like, for me, I'm thinking room like where he was having his funeral. Veruca also claimed that Tasha was touching the baby, like touching the baby's clothing, and I'm a little speechless. I'm a little speechless at this entire thing because it's not just one bad thing that you did. You had a misstep, a, bad take. This is like, it sounds like her entire time there was not respecting the fact that you were at a funeral, doing really weird things, doing inappropriate things, saying things that are sexual in nature in front of children, and you're at a funeral. So I think all of us know that creating a vlog out of a funeral is simply wrong. If she wanted to do good by this mother, she would have, number one, sat it out because she was clearly not in the right headspace to attend this funeral and be there as a form of support. She was there as a burden, and she made a fool of herself and really negatively impacted this grieving mother and her family and her other friends that were there. But what I want to say is, after listening to this, I think there should be no alcohol allowed at funerals. I realize that we constantly are attending events where alcohol is kind of the main focus, and I think that there should be more of a division on events where it's acceptable to have alcohol, and then events where, like, why are you drinking at a funeral? Why is alcohol even a part of a funeral service? To me, I don't understand that. I get it, like, at a if you do like a reception thing, obviously that's different, but why are we consuming alcohol when our dead loved one is 10 feet away from us and we're getting ready to never see them again. The other opinion that I walked away with, aside from the no alcohol at funerals thing, is, in my opinion, unless you are immediate family, you should not be allowed to have a camera in the main room or the main chapel where your loved one is, because when we're living in this digital society of everyone having a camera on their phone, which is in their pocket, it's very easy for everyone to be able to take photos and videos within seconds now. I don't think that people outside the immediate family should be allowed to walk in and take photos of a decedent. I think that's weird. I think that it happens often where the family wasn't even aware that this person was taking pictures or videos. And I just think that it's a big slap in the face to the grieving family to go take photos of somebody in their casket. I just think it's bizarre. And just to close this video out on a more neutral note, because I know this was really heavy, if I were to think of gifts that are so much better than a frickin' bottle of tequila, there's a few that come to mind. Obviously, you can gift your time. So if it's a grieving family and you're close enough with them, maybe offer to watch their kids for a couple hours, or maybe take their kids out to do an adventure for a few hours so that the adults can have some time just to be able to unplug and kind of process everything. Doing a donation to a charity is also another thing. Donate in the decedent's name. That's amazing. Giving gift cards for Uber Eats or DoorDash, or arranging to have a local restaurant deliver food to the family so that they don't have to worry about feeding themselves and or maybe even feeding their kids for a day or two, just to take that burden off of their plate while they are mourning either one of their children or a loved one. I also really like the idea of personalized jewelry where it has the decedent's initial or initials on it, and gift that, because jewelry lasts forever and it can be a little pricey. But I think depending on your relationship with the person, if you're super close with them and you're spending money on a necklace that has a charm or a ring or something, that's something that they can cherish forever. I have a couple of jewelry pieces that were personalized in honor of my grandmother, and I don't wear them every day, but I love that I have them and they have stood the test of time, and I love that. I love things that last forever. I don't usually do flowers. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of flowers, not only because number one, they die really quickly. Number two, if they're sitting on your kitchen table and you don't toss them when they need to go, then it can smell, and that's just another thing you have to deal with. Something else that I learned a little later on in life is, I think a lot of people think, oh, send flowers. Like, someone is mourning a loved one, send flowers so that they have some flowers. There's also the other side of it where people that are so fresh into the mourning process don't want flowers in the home because they just attended a funeral or a celebration of life or whatever for their loved one. And seeing and smelling those flowers in their house, it's almost like a negative, it gives them like that negative feeling because they just got back from this funeral. Now the same smell and sight is in their own home. So me personally, like in my adult life, like now I personally steer clear from sending flowers. I would opt for something else, and definitely never, never, never alcohol. I know this video was a little longer. It was definitely heavy in subject matter, but I haven't seen a lot of people covering this. I know August the Duck did, and then there's another guy named Jacob that did. So I will link both those videos down below. And yeah, we'll just see what y'all have to say. So for now, if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.